Welcome back to Open Source. I'm here with Tiarne Hawkins. Yes, the Tiarne Hawkins. Um, it's
Big
funny
fan.
because I didn't know anything about AI like at all until I had you on my show, Daily Drop, and
Mhm.
then I learned only like what I learned from you. I still don't know that much, but I know enough to ask I think smarter questions. But it seems like there's as I learn more, there's so many different aspects of it. But the large language model really seems to be at the center of the conversation for now. Why has the large language model become so popular?
It's a really good question. So if you think about it, these companies are spending billions of dollars training these foundation models or a large language model to have various different capabilities, whether it's text, audio, video as an output. You see people using it for writing music and code and various others. So they're spending billions of dollars making this general purpose model available for all of us to be able to use. And so whether you're a independent user of one of these models, so the average day person, you're obviously capitalizing on all of those billions of dollars of investment going into the capabilities of a model doing a task for you. If you're an enterprise, you get the ability to take your own data, so your own secret source, and be able to train a model, like what we call fine tuning, on top of one of these models, which again, think about that. Someone spent billions of dollars giving you a general purpose model, and now you get to fine tune it for your own individual use on your own company data. And so the reason why large language models are at the core of everything is because of that capability. It allows us to do everything from code, advanced mathematics. It allows businesses to automate processes, create content at the touch of a button. And so you can imagine everybody's jumping onto the bandwagon to obviously leverage what somebody else has already invested in for them.
I
It's my
understand.
general take anyway.
So I
Yeah.
I think you just answered my next question too, because
Fine.
because I'm just a lowly television host here, so for me, they're all LLMs, but I think you just explained it very clear. They're not, right? So you kind of have because I know because I'm a big Perplexity fan as well. And I noticed it's
Love.
like, well, actually, they're using, like Gemini and they're using ChatGPT and they're kind of like tapping into all these other things. So you call that enterprise, where essentially there's this the big tech companies, they're spending all the money, they've got these large language models, and then the enterprise is basically they're
Mhm.
almost like apps, right? It's like you're like, okay, well, here's all the data, but we need it to do this specific thing. We need to do that specific thing. Is that correct?
Kind of. So the way I would think about it, Bobby, is imagine you're an enterprise today with all of these various different departments. They have different roles, responsibilities, different needs for different styles of content. And if you were to say, let's create a use case or a use case library for every single one of my departments, and then we're going to go out and we're going to see which language model in the space, whether it's Gemini, whether it's Llama, whether it's OpenAI, we're going to see which one of them best performs the task for my use case. So for marketing, it might be ChatGPT. For the research department, it might be Perplexity. But then what we're going to do is we're going to fine tune a model, right, to make it more specific to my use case with company data. And what that allows you to do is experiment and iterate, find the best tools that actually fit your department. But the
Mhm.
key there is actually identifying the use case in the first place and really identifying where you want AI to impact that business unit, and not one model does everything. And so that's kind of the key takeaway here is the reason you want many is because it gives you more adaptability and you can potentially spend less money getting a better output.
It's like mic drop after mic drop. It's I think you're such a good guest. Unbelievable. Okay, next question. We only have 90 seconds, but
Sure.
what comes after LLMs? So LLMs or enterprise, all these things. Like I get that this, generative AI. This is kind of the conversation right now, but it's going to evolve and pivot. What's coming next?
Yeah, great question. The way I think about LLMs, they're still at a baby level, right? If you think
Wow.
about how many people are in this world, how many human experiences there are, we haven't digitized all of that yet. So that training data doesn't exist. And so what's next for language models isn't just about expanding modalities into audio and video, 3D and others. It's really about expanding human experience. How do we ensure that we're more inclusive for various different races? There's 7,500 languages in the world, right? How do we even digitize that in the first place? And then how do we include that in AI's journey? And that's not to forget about the fact that each and every single one of us have a different experience. As countries become more diverse, we have various different dialects, we have various different human experiences that need to be included. So I think that's definitely key. And lastly, I want to touch on the fact, I know we have 20 seconds here, is we are moving into a world of automation and we are moving into a world of AI agents. And that's a whole nother ecosystem to wrap your head around. So you will see AI agents popping up, and maybe we can cover that in a later segment.
She's right. It's Tiarne Hawkins on open source.